Okay, guys, the NIST report. The NIST report is a couple of days of it, yesterday and today. I have not digested besides a few minutes of the yesterday, 17 minutes or so. So I've got a ways to go. Got to, maybe I can get to it this weekend when it's raining. But I thought I'd give you a little fast one on the on this document they released. I'll link it below in the comments, in the comment section. I'll pin it. And if you guys come up with a better pin, then I'll have to pin underneath your pin. So look, they've got they've got a better image that they've released. It says the Adriana her video, and so obviously she remember I said that she's got better quality if we get a copy, so that stupid copy of it. Well, there's the column, and there's the column at the bottom of the ramp. I'm sorry, a ton of 17 is their document. Hey, George. I think it's gonna sharpen up if you wait a second. But, great. But if you load, yeah. Getting to it. 10 of 17. So if you look to the right there, wow, that's pretty bright. Tom was around. Tom's pretty busy right now. And a few other people insisted there was lawn furniture there. Let's see, lawn furniture. The furniture from the desk, from the nearest front porch. And I stated a few times that the deck is flat on the ground. If you guys watch my videos, then you would know I said, look, there's where they're excavating when they were doing the scratch marks on the ground. I said, there's the patio right there. You're looking right at it. The patio's flat on the ground. The patio went down first. Remember, the Nears left, and after they left, the lady filmed. The collapse happened, and she give her some time, break out a camera, and start filming the Adriana. And this is what it presents as. Now over here, it was originally thought a washing machine was is in there, and there is a washing machine inside Nears over there. I think Tom verified that, and a couple people verified there's a washing machine inside the apartment building, which would put their back wall here. And I don't see glass and things like that, or that fell down, or their floor just dropped. Right, their floor just dropped, which I did a video talking about. How to hang time and switching. I'm sorry. I did the mock-up of the cardboard mock-up where I show the hang time and the internal floor dropping down up to the ramp, their walkway, where they were running out, their hallway, up to the elevation change, if you remember my cardboard model. And I said some hang time and flipping around, and that's why I have. This is where I theorize this part is right here. It's in front. This section here on the ramp. And I also base that on, if you slow down, look at the video. Well, in this case, they don't have it. But I'll give you a pointer. It's right here. It presents as some, you can see how close it is to the presents as. Remember, compression will pull things in, so be careful of that. But it's a piece of material. NIST would have to release the full video. Maybe they did. I have to go spend some time and looking at their report. I don't know if they did release the video content. It's very clear to see on the gate there, but that color, that coloration, and remember the water hammer, the knock, 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 bang stuff is what I have. So this looks like, watch this. This looks like, remember I kept saying I need that BMA, the BMA that goes from the north to south, south to north, whatever direction you like to see. And I think this is it right here. I don't think that's the column laying over there. But it presents as a gap right here between what appears to be the top layer of the top deck, the lower deck, and possibly the internal deck is my bias. This I state is the planter box, and why I do that is I think the planter box was penalized there at that location. I don't know why I'm biasedly think it was penalized. I think I saw a photograph of it, meaning it was like panels. So this, I would have to verify that. Is that a panel or not? And then I would say, okay, that looks like the panel, the planter box right here. And then this, you've got some debris on top of it there. Presents is on top of it. Presents is on top of it. It's interesting. At one time, with the bad imagery, I've gone over this image so much, I was like, I couldn't get it to work, but I even was reaching way back in there saying that she photographed and she saw the top of the deck. I think the video comes out in a few days for you guys, but you have to recall or remember that the ground elevation out here at the street, so the front part, the ground elevation, the sidewalk elevation, the ramp elevation, is about equal with the height of the deck. It's just a few inches off of being at the same elevation. So this drop, we're seeing a distortion of imagery, if you will. Distortion of imagery, if you will. I think it's up. Let me see if I do this right. So here's our opening. Up here is our 13, and the front of the building is our 13.6. The top of the floor, internal floor. And then down here is 11 foot 10. At the wherever 11 foot 10 is the transfer slab, you're basically looking at the invert of it from this side of the building. And then we're looking at so you're looking at it from there, and then here's the top of the slab. But the top of the slab here is at, it's much higher elevation because it's the electrical room. So somewhere you can start doing your math from here and do your turn up to get to your 11 foot 10, which is your deck elevation. But using the sidewalk elevation to triangulate that, we're down here basically. It's not much of a drop. Not much of a drop to get us to looking on top of it already. Not much of a drop. So I want you to think of there is much of a drop. So you got some issues to work out. There is much of a drop from the top of this to the bottom of the ramp. Is it 2 foot 10? And we don't have quite 2 foot 10 of materials there. And we have a problem with that. We know this to not really be, 50, well, from here to here, 50% being there for scale wise. And I'm not even at the bottom, at the floor. And this is the center line. You can see the scale is not quite. This thing is almost coming up halfway, but we know that's not to be true. It only comes up so much. So the scale of this is very hard to translate. I wish they would give me the camera that the lady was using so we could then use that, zoom in, do the distance, and you would be able to figure out what you're more than likely looking at. Again, I think that it's penalized here, leaving open that that this could be the floor drop down inside the apartment, and we're looking at the washing machine. This is much more clear here. I have to say I do not see the column internal to here. I don't see it. If this is the box that happened to ring around it, then where's the bushes around it? Because they come down with it, with all the other ones, but not with this one. That's where I have an issue. Now I don't see the bush. I saw it in one of my when I played around with it, the imagery. And now this doesn't quite look like bush to me, but it could be. The other thing I have is I'm playing around with the distance right now and using a regular camera to see if I can hide the column that we think is out here, if I can hide it behind this column. Multiple columns. Biasly so, I'm trying to get to a point back here where I can see the swimming pool, the hot tub. I can get to the point where I see the hot tub in my modeling, but it appears that I would still see the column before the hot tub, And then this can't be the hot tub. I don't think. Here, let's see. I don't think this can be the hot tub because the hot tub, because I saw the way the debris on there, and I just don't have the hot tub. I just don't just have this as the hot tub because I don't see the rest of the materials on top were flapped over. So not that far back, all right. So not that far back. So that's good. We start eliminating things. So we come forward, and what else do we have? It's also white. That box was not white. The inside of it might have presented as white, but the box was not white. I call it the teacup actually because look, it looks like a little handle, and this is my teacup. Okay, so teacup. Coffee cup, mug, coffee mug. You know, if I could start breaking this apart in my brain, I would look at it like this. Watch what I do here. So this is one panel. All right, I'm going to remove that. This is one panel here. All right, I'm going to remove it. And then this odd duct here, it would be the fractured column that doesn't make it up, that visually doesn't go up to there. That this would be the BMA going across. So I've been waiting for some. Nobody's debunking me or calling me out. Post tension was called for this. The BMAs are originally designed with post tension bars. So here's your column, and here's your column over here. That would be this column right here. Yeah. And then the bars go through, all right? And they can be buried, but recessed. But the bars were there. This is the post-tension bars. So this construction did call for post-tensioning, all right? It did call for PT. But they were dealing with what, it's not beam A, it's BMA. All right, BMA. So, so this did call for that. It was not done. They did rebar through it instead. But 100%. Try to call me out on it, guys. But I'm not going to just give it to you to just be giving it to you. Find it. Go, find the drawings. Show me where it's not in there. It's in the specs. It calls for post-tension bars, post-tensioning rather. And the only post-tension, it calls for post-tensioning. And the only post-tensioning that I could see in this whole design is the BMA system. It did not use post-tensioning. I saw no bars in any debris. Okay, so that's where we are now. We have the water here. We have the lighted section here, more highlighted on the, it's probably the strobe lighting, because I played around with the strobe lighting trying to even catch it on a bright strobe, on an up strobe, if you will, to catch the lighting, which direction it was coming from, etc. That was a waste of energy, pretty much. So, what do we have here? The top part is this section here. What is that? What is that? What is that little beast? What is that beast? Okay, so thinking about the wall buckling. Thinking about wall buckling, and it's the beginning of the end. Recall, that's the beginning of the end, the beginning of this whole system. This is M that we're looking at. This is M. Let's see, KLM, right. And K and L would be over here, and it's one over behind the door. So it's behind the door. It's out of sight from us. But this all went down flat, universal. Now, this could also be right in front of us. I'm going to end the video soon. Right here could be the transfer to the. So that's the okay. So this part here, I'm drawing right here, this part, and then you go into the building. It's a 7-inch step up, and then they pad on top of it. No, 7 inches to the house. That's 11. So it's 11 inches total to get to the next elevation change. 11 inches total, so it's not much, but it's there. 11 inches, yeah. Okay. So remember, this was originally a 2'6" step up slab drop detail, and slab drop detail like this. So this is 11'10", and this is 13'6". It was supposed to be 10'10", and now they changed it to 11, so that would make this significantly larger, 1 foot larger in fact, and that's at the building. But they changed the elevation of the deck. They boarded up the pool deck up to the height of the car deck, and that reduced the size of the BMA that need. I'm sorry, the drop slab drop detail right here. That reduced it by 1 foot, so it went to 1 foot 6 inches, I believe it is now. It was 2 foot 6 inches, and so that's very significant. Very significant as far as once the deck goes down, it's able to cause the frequency, the vibration up to the top floor. Where the top floor is reduced rebar, it has only 4 rebar on the columns. And so 4 rebar on the columns, and when the deck is secured to them, let's see how I'm going to do this. So the deck, the slabs. All right, I'm going to take some liberty here and do that so you can see it. But for our purposes, it actually goes through. All right, it actually goes through, but I'm going to delete that. This helps you visualize it better. So as the front structure rattles, let's call it, say rattles, because this deck goes down. So it vibrates and shakes the front columns only, the front columns. Front columns are only secured pretty much at that elevation. They actually come across a little bit, and I show that in the whole video. I dive into that one, saying some of these have a wraparound, if you will, but some do not. They just are in plain, and so our securement is limited here, right? It's very limited. But so these two are doing the work, but these two are like, they're just so. These work. These two anyway work. So here, let's look at it in this direction, and this is the outside of the building. That's inside of the building. And let's use that as a rebar here, and so you know what? Let's do that. So that's the rebar there, and that's the rebar there. Outside of building. And if the building were to try to rotate in, this rebar becomes active in tension. This rebar does a compressive thing. But if the building tried to go out, so rattle going out, then this one takes the load, this tension load, and this one goes into the compressor zone. But if the building rattles, they both take a turn at it, left, right, left, right. These joints are not flexible. These connections here from the pads are not flexible. So where they more likely to fail, apparently presented to us in a video, is the top floor. And they also identified this movement by near the daughter on the first floor. Remember, she came out of the shower and she saw the stuff shooting in her face, she said. I did a video on that. And then we have the 6th floor, 611. We have her stating that the gap against her wall, the 2-finger gap. Then we have the video of 711 showing the debris shoot down off the ceiling towards the NIST camera. I think it's a NIST camera. Towards that camera. That material, debris shooting like that, near could probably confirm that's what she saw also. But she saw it from the shower. She saw it from the shower. So the hallway's out here, and I think the shower is somewhere over here. So this is the hallway, and here's the shower. She gets out of the shower. I don't know which direction she was facing when she saw it. Here's a wall here, I believe, and then it doubles out. Here's a doorway over here, I think. So she comes out, puts on a robe, and she goes this direction, meets at the door to skedaddle with the mama bear. So I don't care if you guys don't like mama bear. Tough luck. Don't watch my channel. Go away. Go somewhere else. All right. So mama bear is a compliment. So the shower, and if you're too whatever, I'll troll you if you want to play along. So here's the shower. She gets out. Does she see it this way? This tells us that the debris is shooting from this wall. Or does she turn and go this way and it's coming at her like this? That tells us that the pad has got some deflection going on and sprinkling down, showering down on her. Or was it showering from the stuff shooting down? Was it showering from this direction at her as she got out of the shower? So let's put the wall back in and back this way and exit. So did she get out of the shower in this direction and she's sort of showering? Or did she turn and start showering this way? And here's the pad, the front of the building. So then I would have the support back here somewhere, I think it is, and that just before you get to the hallway. So we got a deflection here that's identified by this breaking away. Now her brother said, he observed it, also observed the butterfly, if you will. He obviously did not go out on his own deck to observe that. I talked about that in another one because we're looking at it here in this NIST video, right there. I think that looks like the furniture. I mean, what else is going to be blue like that? It wasn't in the parking garage. We don't see any cars, so. And we're in the driveway area there. Again, this front debris, the very forward debris there. It's like it's beveled, and it's like it's coming all the way up to the ramp, which gives me my bias, up to possibly up to, oh boy, up to the, okay, so I'll show you what else is ghosting me. Up to the, utility room, the emergency room. This here, there's a car back here. We see the car here. See the lights or whatever they might be. See the shiny parts. And then this is over here is kind of ghosting right between here. I think it's just camera processing that wanted to add that. The thing is, what is this? And also this should need to be confirmed with the construction joint above. A cold construction joint or a dowel construction joint. Hell, it could be a keyed construction joint, because this went down and that car is there, so the materials didn't fall down the car. It created a shear plane, I call it. This car is here. It's not crushed. It doesn't appear to be any debris on it, so it's like we made a clean pathway from the construction joint, or this car just happens to be right out of line of that construction joint, and it's pulling it in through compression of the lens. Enough of this video. We'll get to more data. This has got a lot more. I'll share it with you. They share, the parking lot. You could see, looks like might be one of those panel repairs they do on the ceiling to direct water. Take note, it's very dry down there. I know we got a lot of water issues mentioned. Take note of the distance I told you, that here, and here. This camera, of course, and then we go here. Here, just so you know how to look at this again, between here and here, this is the center. That's that pipe right here, our tributary area. Center line, I would call it. I would argue that center line of it, and the fractures we find in the ceiling come off these columns towards the center line, meeting from, let's say, this column here, coming that way. I don't know about this image, but that's where it presents in other images. All right, so what else can I get you real quick before I terminate? I already went over this in another one, proving that it's two-directional steel there, and you see it here. Here and here. And this is when I talk about I don't like steel being in line. But you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. But it fracture planes. All right, it does that. You don't see it engulfing the other steel and pulling it down, and it's right next to it. No, it divides. That load doesn't work. It doesn't come out that. It doesn't come out that way. It should be staggered. Okay, well, watch what you observe right here, and I'll terminate the video. This is a very critical piece, I think. This one. That one piece here. Put it back in the ceiling, and you put this one back in the ceiling, and they just sort of butt. They sort of butt. They don't really overlap. You know, the many overlap. Remember, I always had a problem with this rebar, and I don't see it popped, broken there. They don't really overlap. Sort of like they just like kissing each other. You know, there's a piece of it here, and the other rebar is going the other to overlap. It looks like it. You know, if I put it in the ceiling, looks like I don't get the overlap per 19, whatever, 78, 79. Which is 30 times the diameter at 79, if I'm correct. And there's my butterfly fracture there, thereabouts. Love you. Take care. Bye.